It's going to be time to turn the wick up here. Now, the Factory Stock Showdown is comprised of two classes within Factory Stock, the double X cars and the single X cars. The single X cars are all the naturally aspirated combinations, whether it's a late model 426 Hemi, whether it's the 427 Topo Chevy engine, maybe it's the V10. We have all those out there.
Carried the front. Look at him go again! Williamson on the bumper hole! Man, a violent landing, and he is into the wall on the summit lane. Boy, oh boy. What a ride for Hill. James Jetson drives away down the National Dragster Lane, 11:48.
Driving down the National Dragster Lane, basically unopposed. 906, 129 miles an hour. He lifted up there big time. Sayers goes 1091.2 at 100 miles an hour on the summit side. And now we have a pair of Cobra Jets getting ready to mix it up. It is Chuck Watson and Chris Holbrook. You notice they
So we're at the U.S. Nationals for the Stock Eliminator class runoffs, and this is the most exciting day in drag racing for sportsman drag racing, in my opinion. The Factory Stock Showdown is the class that we are most present in the X and double X classes. And we've got a bunch of Cobra Jets out there, both blown cars and a couple naturally aspirated cars in X class. And we're excited and getting ready to go.
Well, it's been a little rocky. We went out there first run and had a decent run. We're number 2 qualifier and number 1 in the XX. And we decided to make a converter change yesterday before the second run and found out we had a messed up converter. So we sat the second one out and repaired it last night, and we'll see what happens this morning.
Set up with a supercharger on it in both of these. Red light start for Chuck Watson, so Chris Holbrook will move on to the next round. 0.78 reaction
obviously
time
for the
Holbrook.
forwards, Chris Holbrook's the man. I mean, Chris is the top of the leaderboard with that, and Clay Arnett with the Copo. So that's the two guys that we use as our benchmark.
2013 Mustang with the 302 Coyote engine and blown. Jordan
It gets touchy at times with the heat. You know, the track was kind of coming up a little bit yesterday afternoon, and it made it kind of tough for the high horsepower cars get down the racetrack.
Both cars inching their way back. Red light start for Pennington. 002 against the 2x2000. So the first 4 of these guys. So John Brazell stops the tree on Gary Remington. Look at these two.
Well, you know, I love Fords to start. I've always loved the Mustang, so when I started building the cars together, the Mustang was the natural thing to do. But I love the competitiveness of this particular class and working on the cars. I have an engineering background, so we're always trying to figure out how do we get them to go faster. And you know, the factory shootout's one great way to see how you're doing compared to everybody else.
Qualifier overall in stock right now. Here goes Arnett turns on the red light by 7,000. Oh, move in. Arnett turned on the red light. Oh no, Bruno busted tires loose. He left early. This time it's a huge starting on the wheel for Brett, but he's given it up already. Both of these cars packing 429 cubes of push-rotted Ford small block.
Only thing I've done so far, and I've been fortunate to be decent at, is not ever let anybody really know how fast we can go. I never once ran it out in Gainesville. I didn't run it out in Englishtown. Of course, we had issues in Englishtown, but here I really haven't run it to this peak. I did make one full pass qualifying to try to move, and we ended up 4th, kind of where we picked.
Henson and Butner. One of them's got to go first. Who's it going to be? Beautiful wheel stand for Butner. Look like he may have pedaled it a little bit there as he comes down and lands it well. He had the better reaction time by 400 to the second, and he will leg it through the top end. 9:13.2 at only 120 miles an hour. Again, you keep the cards close to the vest. Bo Butner goes on to the next. I am ready, Mike English. Thank you very much. And yes, we're back with round 2 of the Factory Stock Showdown. This is a great battle between our naturally aspirated competitors in the Factory Stock X category right now. 2 cylinders, and well, whole bunch of cubic inches separate these two engines. Butner and Alaguchi leave within 2,000ths of each other. They get to the 8th mile and the Ford starts to stretch its legs. Will he do it? 896.5145, Bo Butner. Both powered by 302 cubic inch Coyote engines, both supercharged as you would expect in this double X category. Holbrook is fully staged. Sanders is fully staged. Down comes the tree and off we go. Chris Holbrook was very determined not to red light there, and it seems like it might have been the right decision because by the time they get to the 8th mile, Holbrook's car clearly the class of this one. 862.7, 147 miles an hour for Chris Holbrook. Tony Ziegler going to be part of the Nitro School this weekend with Alan Reinhardt. We're talking more about that as we get going as well. So Fazell, the Ford Mustang, 5.4-liter blown combination, and Adam Berger, 458 LS with a hot rod time. Better reaction time goes to Fazell. Oh, he's smoldering the tires out there. So Don Fazell breaks traction, and that means Adam Burbich's going to break the finish line first. We have a Kovajet battle. Amelia Kovajet, of course, is a dedicated diehard.
So you hear people say there aren't a lot of young people. They're wrong. There's a lot more young people. I mean, it's easy for me because of my website. I can see the demographics, and there's so many more people interested in stock and super stock because of the new cars. The super pro stock should be derivative from this. They should derive from these cars. They should come from these cars. Maybe do anything you want to the chassis, but it has to look like it came from the factory. Use the factory power plants. They're making well over 1,000 horsepower.
Red paint, blacked out wheels, looking pretty easy. Again, a humongous starting line advantage for Ken Mealy, but it appears that it was a ploy by Bell to make sure he did not red light as he is making up the ground. No, he's not either. Look at that, kids. 893 beats an 878. Anthony Giovanni. Kevin Skinner on the National Dragster side, the 2014 Copo. So a 331 car, a 5.4 car, taking on the latest generation of 302 car out here right now. See Skinner's car make enough power out there. Built the old-fashioned way with the most modern technology that the OEMs have to offer. Butner is first to turn on the top half of the pre-stage situation. There goes Welch fully in. He is immediately fully staged, and Butner is now fully staged. Reaction time advantage will be Bo Butner as Joe Welch has gone 003 red. He knew he had to hit the tree hard, so it will be a Ford versus a Dodge in the final round. It's an 08 Cobra Jet taking on a 14 Cobra Jet. Another one of the 5.4-liter versus 302 cubic inch battles out here. Really living up to his nickname over there, and a starting line advantage. Boy, oh boy, Skinner is right up next. Burbridge and Holbrook launch off here, the final pair on this side of the double X ladder. We're setting up the final in double X here as Holbrook and Burbridge swinging punches at the top end, and it is going to be Holbrook, 860 with a 2 and 152. So it is going to be an all-Ford final round.
We have been very fortunate this year in the Factory Stock Showdown. The double X class is an all-Ford final with Chris Holbrook and Kevin Skinner. That's a rematch of what went down at Englishtown a few months ago. And in the X class, we've got Bo Butner taking on our competition from the Mopar camp. So we're excited. We got 3 out of 4 cars in there. Our guys are looking great. And we're going to run in front of the big crowd tonight, and hopefully we get an all Cobra Jet final for the runoff between X and double X, and we make it a Cobra Jet win again.
You can't fault them. They pencil in a new combination, and if you're lucky enough for an HR to accept it, I mean that's what you have to live with. Then the new combination comes out, and we can tell it makes a lot more power because he had everybody a 10th. But we can't complain. All we can do is work harder on it, and. It's like I say, it's a pencil job by Mopar, and they did a good job.
429 Windsor style qualifying.
Kevin, I know he's making all kinds of power, so we turned it up, and I knew he was going to be tough, and we turned it up a little too much, and I had to pedal it in the air, and we lost some ET there, and he went around it.
Sure, I saw his wheels hanging up there, and my dad was actually gave me a little bit of shuck and jive when we were looking at the run at the end, because I missed the first gear shift by about 200 RPM. I was tell Dad, well, I saw his wheel hanging right next to my head. It was kind of hard to concentrate on that for a second.
And the modern equivalent of those 1968 Hemi darts, on the Ford side of things, join us for the final of the Factory Stock Showdown. 4/10 of a second head start, and Kevin Skinner will catch him. The differential is based off the best runs the competitors made during eliminations yesterday. No breakout, first to the finish line wins. Can Bo Butner and the naturally aspirated 429 pushrod small block Cobra Jet outrun Kevin Skinner in the supercharged Coyote powered car? Here we go, it's the final of the Factory Stock Showdown in the round. Massive wheel stand for Bo Butner. 0:15 reaction time for Butner, and Kevin Skinner asleep at the switch when the tree came down as Bo Butner. Can he hold him off? You bet he can. 895 with a 3 at 149 miles an hour, and again they're going nuts on the starting line, and for good reason. 849.5 at 158 miles an hour for Kevin.
A little different mindset. I had no advantage. I thought in Englishtown I might have had an advantage. I had some left. Here I knew with the conditions and all, the blower motor shouldn't lose as much as ours. So I went up there and said, I've got to leave first. That's my only chance. And it worked out that good. I think Kevin just missed the trick. Pedal Fest, that was really probably one of our only chances for him to mess up. And we kind of messed up too. So just the right time in the right place kind of thing. I was asked that earlier yesterday about, does it get old winning these? And you can take stuff for granted. And this is more than just, to us, more than class, because it's like a junior pro stock kind of thing. We all work hard at it. There's a lot of money spent. This is up there, rates good, because I was more involved in the driving part in some of the rounds. In round one, we shouldn't even been there because of a starter issue. And I got enough crew guys, within 10 minutes they had a header off, starter on, and we made it for round one. So it just takes a heck of a team and a lot of people behind me.